as quarterbacks or wide receivers. That player is Brandon Aubrey. Over the past 3 seasons, Brandon Aubrey has quietly become one of the most reliable and effective players on the entire roster. In fact, many people believe that no single Cowboys player has performed his job better than Brandon Aubrey during this time. So, when news comes out of that Brandon Aubrey and the Cowboys were still ongoing contract negotiation, it surprised many fans. How could a player so consistent, so productive, and so important still be waiting for a long-term deal? At first glance, it may feel like an easy decision. Pay the man, reward his performance, and move forward. But when you take a closer look, the situation becomes much more complex. Brandon Aubrey joined the Cowboys in 2023 as an undrafted free agent. From a very beginning, he exceeded expectations. Not only did he secure the starting job, but he also delivered at an elite level. In his rookie season, he earned first-team All-Pro honors. In the following 2 seasons, he continued his excellence, earning second-team All-Pro selection and Pro Bowl appearance each year. That kind of the consistency is rare, especially for a player who was not even drafted. Availability is another major part of the Brandon Aubrey value. Over these 3 seasons, he has played in every single game. He has attempted more field goals and extra points than any other kicker in the league during that time. That kind of the durability and the reliability is extremely valuable for any team, especially one with playoff ambitions like the Cowboys. When you look at the history of the franchise, Brandon Aubrey is already placing himself among of the greats. His field goal percentage is tied with the best in team history for players who have played at least one full season. He also set a franchise record with 65 yards field goals, showing not just accuracy but incredible leg strength. On the top of that, he has already broken records for long-distance kicks, especially from the 50 yards and beyond. With all these achievements, it would seem obvious that the Cowboys should lock him into a long-term contract. After all, the salary for kickers is relatively small compared to other positions. Even the highest paid kicker in the league earns only a fraction of what top quarterbacks or wide receiver make. In the context of the team total salary cap, paying Aubrey should not be a major issue. However, the Cowboys are not rushing into the deal. Instead, they are taking carefully and strategic approach. From the outside, this might look like hesitation or even disrespect towards Aubrey, but in reality, it is about risk management and long-term planning. One of the key factors in this situation is Brandon Aubrey's age. Although he has only played 3 seasons in National Football League, he recently turned 31 years old. In professional sports, especially in football, age matters. For kickers, performance can decline quickly once they enter their 30s. While some players manage to extend their careers, many experience sudden drops in accuracy and consistency. History provides several examples. Even some of the best kickers have struggled as they got older. Their performance did not always decline slowly. Sometimes it happened very quickly. One season they were among of the best, and next season they were no longer reliable. That kind of the uncertainty makes teams cautious when offering long-term contracts to older players. It is also important to remember that Brandon Aubrey has more physical mileage than his 3 seasons in the league might suggest. Before joining the Cowboys, he was a professional soccer player. And after that, he played to another football league before finally arriving in the NFL. All of that experience adds wear and tear for his body. Even if it did not happen at the highest level of the football, another factor to consider is his recent performance trend. While Brandon Obley has been excellent overall, this has been a slight decline in his accuracy compared to his first season. In his rookie year, he was nearly perfect. After the past 2 seasons, his accuracy has dropped slightly. He has also been less consistent in a very long field goals compared to his yearly performance. Now, this does not mean he is no longer a great kicker. Far from it. He is still among the best in the league, but when a team is considering a long-term investment, even small changes in performance can raise concerns. The Cowboys have to think not just about what Obley has done, but what he will do in the future. Another important part of his situation is leverage. Right now, the Cowboys have the advantage in negotiation. Brandon Obley is a restricted free agent, which means the team has significant control over his contract situation. They can keep him for the upcoming season without committing to a long-term deal. This gives them time to evaluate his performance further before making a bigger financial decision. Because of this leverage, the Cowboys are in no hurry. They can afford to wait. They can let Brandon Obley play another season and see how he performs. If he continues at high level, they can revisit contract discussion later. If his performance declines, they will have avoided a potential risk a long-term commitment. From Brandon Obley's perspective, the situation is different. He has performed at an elite level and wants to be rewarded accordingly. He also wants security. A long-term contract would protect him financially and recognize his contribution to the team. It is understandable that he might be aiming to become the highest paid kicker in the league. Reports suggest that there may be a gap between what Brandon Obley wants and what the Cowboys are willing to offer. While the team may be open to making him one of the most highest paid players at his position, they may not be comfortable going for beyond the current market value. That is where the negotiation becomes challenging. There are also different elements within a contract that can create disagreements. It is not just about the total amount of the money. It includes guaranteed money, contract length, bonuses, and other details. Sometimes, even when both sides agree on general value, these smaller details can delay a deal. For the Cowboys, flexibility is very important. By not committing to long-term contract right now, they keep their option open. They can adapt based on Obley's performance over the next 1 or 2 seasons. This approach reduces risk even if it means paying slightly more in short term. For Brandon Obley, this approach can feel uncertainty. Without a long-term deal, there is always the risk of the injury or decline in performance, which could affect the future earnings. That is why players often push for contract as early as possible, especially after strong performance. Despite the tension, this situation is not necessarily negative. In fact, it shows that both sides are being thoughtful and strategic. The Cowboys are protecting their future while Obley is advocating for his value. This is a normal part of the professional sports, especially when it involves high-performance players. It is also important to note that there is still plenty of the time for the deal to be reached. The offseason is long, negotiation can continue for months, sometimes agreements happen quickly, Other times they take longer as both sides work through the details. In the end, this situation comes down to balance. The Cowboys must balance reward and risk. O'Brien must balance patience and ambition. Both sides have valid points, and both sides have something to gain. What is clear is that Brandon O'Brien has already made significant impact on the Dallas Cowboys. His performance has been exceptional, and his contributions have not gone unnoticed. Whether he signs a long-term deal now or later, his place as one of the top kickers in the league is already secure. As the fans watch this situation unfold, it serves as a reminder that even the most straightforward decisions in sports are often more complicated than they appear. Behind every contract negotiation, there are all layers of the strategy, risk, and long-term thinking. For now, for fans, because when you think about the best players on the Cowboys over the last 3 years, O'Brien is right at the top of that list. Now let us really break this down slowly. Since joining the Cowboys in the 2023 as an undrafted free agent, Brandon O'Brien has been nothing short of incredible. In fact, you could argue he has been the most consistent player on the entire roster. He came with zero expectation in Dallas and quickly became an all-pro player in that 3 years. In his first season, he earned first-team all-pro honors. Then, in the next 2 seasons, he followed that up with the second-team all-pro selections. On the top of that, he has been selected to the Pro Bowls every single year. And that kind of the consistency is rare. And what it makes even more impressive is his availability. He has played every single game. He has attempted more field goals and extra points than any kicker in the league since he arrived in the Dallas Cowboys. And of course, that is what coaches loves. That is what teams depends on. Now here is where things get really interesting. Despite of that success, Brandon O'Brien is currently in a contract negotiation with the Cowboys, and it is taking longer than expected. At the first, that might sound confusing. Why would a team not immediately pay a player like this? But when you look deeper, it actually starts to make sense. Let's talk about his performance first. Brandon O'Brien has already made a history with the Cowboys. He is tied with for the highest field goal percentage in the franchise history at 88.2%. And that him with the Danny Bale, who many fans consider one of the best kickers the team has ever had. Not only that, Brandon O'Brien broke the record for the longest field goal in the Cowboys' history with the 65-yard kick. And he has already set the record for the most field goals made from the 50 yards or more. So yes, we are talking about a truly right kicker. So again, why is there a problem? It comes down to many risk or timing. Reports say that Brandon O'Brien wants to become the highest paid kicker in the league, of course in the NFL. And right now, the top kickers make around $6.5 million per year, but there are rumors that O'Brien could be asking for closer to $10 million per year. That would completely change the market for the kickers, and that is where Cowboys start to hesitate. You see, from the team perspectives, there are risks. The biggest one is age. Brandon Aubrey is already 31 years old. You have to know that one. Now, in normal life, it is not that is not old at all. But in a professional sports, especially in the NFL, that is a different story. Many kickers begins to decline in their early 30s. Even great players like Dan Bale started to struggle around that age. And even legendary kickers like Justin Tucker have shown signs of the decline as they get older. So the Cowboys are thinking long term, and they are asking themselves, what if we give him a huge contract and then his performance drops? And there is a more, even through Aubrey has been amazing. There are small signs that could worry the team. In his first season, he had 95% success rate on field goals, but in the last 2 seasons, that number dropped to around 85 to 86%. Still, ever so good. It's still very good, but not perfect. And from long distance, he also declined last year compared to his yearly performance. So the Cowboys are not just looking at what he has done, they are thinking about what he might do next after signing of the new contract. So now let's talk about leverage. This is a very important because of his contract status. Brandon Aubrey is restricted free agent. You have to know that's one. That's one. And that means the Cowboys actually have most of the control in this situation, and they placed a second round tender on him. What does that mean? It means if another team wants to sign him, they would have to give up a second round draft pick. And realistically, no team is going to do that for the 31-year-old kicker. So Brandon Aubrey does not have a lot of negotiating power right now. And it gets even more interesting. The Cowboys could keep him for this season and then use the franchise tag next year. That would allow them to keep him again without committing to a long-term deal. So from the business perspective, the Cowboys are actually in a very strong position. Now, from the Aubrey side, it is also understandable. He has performed at the highest level. He has proven his value, and he wants security in the Dallas Cowboys. He wants to be rewarded for what he has done. And honestly, he deserves to be paid well. But the big question, of course, is should he reset the entire markets? And should the Cowboys take that risk? Or should they stay patient and protect their future? That is where opinions start to split among the fans. Some fans say pay him whatever he wants and he has earned it. And others say be careful, do not overpay for a position that cannot change quickly. And both sides have valid arguments. At the end of the day, the most realistic outcome might be a middle ground, a deal that makes Aubrey the highest paid kicker, but still keeps him under $7 million per year. That would reward him but also protect the team. And good news for the Cowboys fans is this: there is no rush because the current contract situation, Brandon Aubrey is almost guaranteed to be on the team for the 2026. So the Cowboys can take their time and they can watch his performance this season and they can make smart decision later after this season. So do not panic. This is not a crisis. This is a business. Smart, careful, and strategic business, of course. But I want to hear from you. do you think the Cowboys should pay Brandon Obley whatever he wants? Or do you think they are making the right decision by being patient? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and share it with the other Cowboys fans, because we are just getting started and there are a lot of more Cowboys news coming. Make subscribe to our platform and turn on notification bell so as to be with us for every update. One of the biggest stories right now involves kicker Brandon Obley. After an outstanding season where he earned first team All-Pro honors, Brandon Obley is now in discussion with the Cowboys about his future. The team placed a second round tender on him, which means finishing last season with a disappointing record of the 7 wins, 9 losses, and 1 T. The team knows that major changes are necessary. One of the biggest problems was defense, which ranked among of the worst in franchise history. Because of this, the team owner Jerry Jones made it very clear that improving the defense would be the top priority this season. Jerry Jones even used a strong phrase to describe his plan. He said the Cowboys were ready to break the budget if needed to fix the defense. This shows how serious the organization is about becoming competitive again. Now, about months into a new league year, the question is whether the team has done enough to make a real difference. According to Jerry Jones, the answer is yes, but work is not finished. He explained that the Cowboys have been aggressive in their approach. The team has spent more money and made stronger efforts than usual to bring in new defensive talent. However, he also admitted that there are still more to be done before the team is complete. So far, the Cowboys have made several important additions, especially in secondary and along the defensive line. These moves are expected to strengthen the team significantly. Jerry Jones believed that if the defense improves while the offense maintains its performance from the last season, the team will have a much better chance of the success. He also mentioned the special teams, saying there is no reason to believe they will not perform at the same level or even improve. When you combine a stronger defense and a stable offense and reliable special teams, the overall outlook for the 2026 season becomes much more positive. However, there is still one major weakness on the roster. The linebacker position remains a big concern. It is currently the only defensive position where the Cowboys have not added a new external player. Jerry Jones acknowledged this issue and confirmed that the team is actively looking for the solution. The Cowboys have already tried to make trades to improve the linebacker position, but those attempts have not been successful so far. Even so, the team is not giving up. They are continuing to explore options before the draft and are also considering selecting a linebacker during the draft itself. Interestingly, Jerry Jones said that if the team drafts a middle linebacker, they would be comfortable giving that rookie in leadership role immediately. This shows confidence in the team's ability to develop young players quickly and trust them with important responsibilities. Another area that needs improvement is the pass rush. Last season, the Cowboys recorded only 35 sacks, which placed them near a bottom of the league. To fix this, the team has added new players and is expecting current players to step up. New additions like Rashan Gary, Tyler Sweet are expected to bring energy and pressure to the defense. At the same time, players like Sam Williams, Donovan Ezoluka and Martin Liofau will need to improve and take a big loss. The coaching staff believes that combination of the new talent and internal development will help solve the pass rush problem. Jerry Jones made it clear that creating pressure on opposing quarterbacks is extremely important. He even said that this could be one of the top priorities in the upcoming draft. A strong pass rush can change games, and the Cowboys know they need to improve in this area if they want to compete at a high level. One of the most interesting changes this offseason is not a player, but a coach. The Cowboys hired a new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker. Even though he will not play on the field, his impact could be huge. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer described him as a superstar, which shows how highly he is valued. Jerry Jones also praised Parker, saying that he has been very impressive both during interviews and while working with the team. He believes Parker has potential to become one of the best defensive minds in the game. However, there are also a lot of pressure on him because it is his first time as a defensive coordinator. Despite that, Jerry Jones believes Parker is ready for the challenge. He explained that pressure is a part of the game and that can actually bring out the best in people. In a competitive league like NFL, handling pressure is essential for the success. Under Christian Parker, the Cowboys will make major changes in their defensive system. They are moving from the 4-3 defense to 3-4 base system. This change is designed to add more flexibility and of course improve the team ability to stop the run. However, this will not be traditional 3-4 defense. Instead, it will be modern version that includes multiple formation and strategies. The goal is to create a system that can adapt to different situations and confuse opposing offenses. One key role in this new system is the outside linebacker, especially player who can rush the pass and also drop back into coverage. This type of the player is rare and very valuable. Jerry Jones explained that finding someone who can do both at high level is not easy, but it is extremely important for the success of the defense. The upcoming draft will play a big role in shaping the team's future, and the Cowboys have strong draft capital, including 2 first-round picks. This gives them many options. They can move up in draft, trade down for more picks, or even use those picks to acquire experienced players. And Jerry Jones said that the team is open to all possibilities. He explained that having many draft picks is a major advantage because it increases the chance of finding talented players. He also mentioned that decisions during the draft can change quickly depending on how things unfold. Finally, Jerry Jones spoke about team mindset. He said the Cowboys are now more aware of the weakness than they were in the past. This awareness is leading to more action and better decision making. Instead of ignoring problems, team is facing them directly and working hard to fix them. Because of this new approach, Jones believe the Cowboys will improve significantly in 2026 season. While there are still challenges ahead of the combination of the new players, coaching changes, and strong strategies gives fans hope for better future. In the end, the message is clear. The Dallas Cowboys are not satisfied with the mediocrity. They are making bold moves, taking risks, and doing everything they can to return to the top of the league. The 2026 new season will be a true test of the whether these changes are enough to bring success back to one of the most famous teams in football in the NFL. Cowboys fans, what is your comment about this message of the Jerry Jones about of the new season which is going to start in the upcoming months? As we have seen different changes that was made by the Dallas Cowboys organization, in a defensive line, and of course in offensive lines. We still have also the issues of the Brandon Obley contract situation, and also we still have the problem of the George Pickens contract extension. Those both players are very, very needed in the Dallas Cowboys, but also the believes Parker has potential to become one of the best defensive minds in the game. However, there are also a lot of pressure on him because it is his first time as a defensive coordinator. Despite that, Jerry Jones believes Parker is ready for the challenge. He explained that pressure is a part of the game and that can actually bring out the best in people. In a competitive league like NFL, handling pressure is essential for the success. Under Christian Parker, the Cowboys will make major changes in their defensive system. They are moving from the 4-3 defense to 3-4 base system. This change is designed to add more flexibility and of course improve the team ability to stop the run. However, this will not be traditional 3-4 defense. Instead, it will be modern version that includes multiple formation and strategies. The goal is to create a system that can adapt to different situations and confuse opposing offenses. One key role in this new system is the outside linebacker, especially player who can rush the pass and also drop back into coverage. This type of the player is rare and very valuable. Jerry Jones explained that finding someone who can do both at high level is not easy, but it is extremely important for the success of the defense. The upcoming draft will play a big role in shaping the team's future, and the Cowboys have strong draft capital, including 2 first-round picks. This gives them many options. They can move up in draft, trade down for more picks, or even use those picks to acquire experienced players. And Jerry Jones said that the team is open to all possibilities. He explained that having many draft picks is a major advantage because it increases the chance of finding talented players. He also mentioned that decisions during the draft can change quickly depending on how things unfold. Finally, Jerry Jones spoke about team mindset. He said the Cowboys are now more aware of the weakness than they were in the past. This awareness is leading to more action and better decision making. Instead of ignoring problems, team is facing them directly and working hard to fix them. Because of this new approach, Jones believe the Cowboys will improve significantly in 2026 season. While there are still challenges ahead of the combination of the new players, coaching changes, and strong strategies gives fans hope for better future. In the end, the message is clear. The Dallas Cowboys are not satisfied with the mediocrity. They are making bold moves, taking risks, and doing everything they can to return to the top of the league. The 2026 new season will be a true test of the whether these changes are enough to bring success back to one of the most famous teams in football in the NFL. Cowboys fans, what is your comment about this message of the Jerry Jones about of the new season which is going to start in the upcoming months? As we have seen different changes